Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and strap in. This is going to be a long video. We're going to be VOD reviewing a game that I played this morning, just a bit ago, and I'm specifically keeping my webcam up here because I want you to see the text chat, which 99% of the time I play with text chat off because I just don't like dealing with people, but this is a perfect example of just how absolutely delusional people can be. And yeah, this is a fun one. So we're going to VOD review it, watch all the good plays, call out some of my mistakes, and then have a good laugh at the chat as well. I don't have audio for this one because I was just playing while listening to music and stuff, so I can't play the audio. But yeah, we're going to take a look at it. So first and foremost, I like to sometimes ward my blue at like around 110. So you just saw that. I should have explained that a second ago. So I'll like ward my blue at like 110, make it over here 125, and then start my red side. Now, for the sake of saying, we are going to be Rampage Jungle, Titan Crest, starting with the Vitality Bead. So that's going to lead into my Fire Blossom. And yeah, looking at the enemy team comp, we have a Countess, Sevarog, Rampage, Decker, and a Revenant. I think it's important to note that my team does not have a carry. We have a Lieutenant Bellica, and I'm actually doing a unique clear. This is not a clear that I do often, but it is a clear that I want to show y'all that is an option. So what you can actually do is you can do red to 4 to blue, and red to 4 to blue will give you your level 3, and then you can be on the opposite side of the map to gank if you want. So here I am thinking, hey, look, we don't have a carry. I would really like to get this lane ahead early if I can, so I can, like, you know, maybe just help them out a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do like a dual lane gank early. So I'm doing red to 4 to blue, and that'll give me my level 3, and then I'll be able to hopefully give them a gank. Now, really early on, there is a Countess v Countess matchup in the mid that leads to the Countess getting a kill. So that's concerning, right? Because, you know, if this is competitive, there's no mirror matches, but this is not competitive, and this is just ladder play, and there are mirror matches. So I have to consider the fact that my Countess will probably be behind forever. So I pull my rock, we get a stun on the Decker. Unfortunately, we don't get a kill here, but we got some nice lane pressure, right? And that's like the most you can ask for. I'll probably chase too long, but you know, hey, you never know. Sometimes you like to put some time in, and I'm checking this for timers because I know that he would have started his red jungle. So just grabbing like a timer on that so I can kind of get some kind of a read on his jungle. And more or less, I don't really need the red timer because assuming he starts red and I start red, it should be about the same timer. So I could look at my map and say, hey, my red, you know, the little circle's ticking, his red, the little circle should be ticking. Now, I see that the Countess has roamed into the off lane, so I can see that my steel had to burn a flash, and unfortunately he's going to die there, so I can't help him, can't do anything there for him. And I am just going to continue farming. I press tab intermittently. I can't honestly say what I'm looking at because I don't know, but in the moment, I'm looking at farm. I'm looking at the CS count. Sometimes I can see the CS count of the enemy jungler, and it kind of helps me predict about where they are or what level they're going to be, things like that. So I see the Rampage in the mid. Now, sometimes when I see the enemy jungler early, I'll try to bully their health bar. Now, what this does, like me bullying his health bar here, it allows me to potentially make invades on him or make plays on him because he has less health than me. So if we get into a jungle 1v1, then I have the lead there. Now, I see the Countess collapsing on me, and this is my backpedaling practice at work. And I even see the Revenant. This is not a joke. I literally practice backpedaling a lot in this game. I will specifically just backpedal through the map sometimes when I'm playing just to get a feel for you know, like the map and the lay of the land. So what you can see here is I'm a little bit low, but I need 850 gold so that way I can get my my Fire Blossom. So I really don't want to leave until I get that. So you're probably going to see me grab this one camp. It's the only thing left on this side of the map, and go back for my Brimstone. I said Fire Blossom, I mean Brimstone, because Brimstone is your clear item. If you're not going, you know, like straight into like say like a Mutilator or something, Brimstone is your clear item. For the sake of saying, I know this is not a Rampage guide per se, but we are going to be maxing our Q. That's going to increase the stun duration, and now we're going to get into the Brimstone. So swap over to sentries. Sometimes I stay, you know, 2 clears, and then I'll go to sentries, sometimes not. Now look, you can already see me queuing up a Lockshaw. I know that they have a Sevarog and they have a Countess on their team. I am going to try to shut down some of that healing. So I'm actually going to build into, it used to be called Leviathan. Now I can't think of what it's called. Tainted Bastion. I don't like that name. I'm trying to help this Countess fight best I can. I didn't want to miss, and she gets flashed on. And so now look at the stage, right? 035 minutes. I'm trying to see if I can get a kill here, get rocked. So the Rampage Countess 2v2 that we're having is not going in our favor. So I know that the Countess is probably going to continue to do very well this game, and my health bar is bullied. I don't really have anything I can do here. I can defend, I can get some of the experience. I see him tick into level 5, so I'm behind, right? We are behind collectively, and you know, it's time I start making some decisions. So I buy her some time. She's going to get back to her lane so she can cover that farm, and I'm just going to continue jungling. So I do know, again, specifically, I see that their Rampage is building a little bit of damage. I know specifically that we are kind of losing the Rampage to Countess fight, and I was already planning to build a Lockshaw to stop some of that healing as best I can. So you'll probably see me not feel super pressured to finish my Fire Blossom and go into the Lockshaw. Now the Sevarog's backing up, so I assume that he has a ward here, but even so, he's probably going for the green, so I go ahead and use my sentry. I want to see if there's any vision here, and I'm going to go straight for him. Now this always sucks when this happens, like when the wave coincides. Now I was able to steal the green, and I pull my rock. I just miss him, but to be honest, it's Sevarog at full health. I don't think we're killing him, right? Like, at best, we probably burn a flash, but stealing the green from him is nice. And I'm just going to try to carry this straight into some value, which is to steal some jungle. Now, what you're actually seeing me doing right here is peeking the blue. So you can see how I walked backwards a little bit and I turned my HUD to the right. That's me peeking the blue to see if the blue is there. It gives me some context on the jungle, but it also gives me some information. Now, I'm jumping over this wall because I just want to get out of here like expeditiously, maybe not let him see me. I'm also trying to make it to the river buff, and you can see it's already taken. So the Countess has already grabbed the river buff, and she's actually straight behind me. I didn't notice it. So I pinged the river just to let him know, hey, look, she's coming. I'm not on my way back. You know, Steel, I think, has been having a hard matchup. First of all, Steel kind of loses the matchup to Countess, or Steel loses the matchup to Sevarog, and he's just been getting ganked a little bit and stuff. So it's a bit unfortunate for him. Now, we know the Rampage is on the side of the map. I'm considering a gank here, but it is very counter gankable, so I'm just going to go farm, right? Like, I know that I have my Lockshaw coming up if I get a little bit more gold, and that's what I'm looking to do. So now this is a unique one. Again, I'm looking in this direction because I know that they could get ganked, and I'm going to burn one of my hunts here because I need to get the hell off this camp because I need to help them. So I use my hunt, and we actually look to turn this fight pretty nicely, get the stun on the Revenant, and now I'm just sticking on the Revenant. Okay, he uses his flash there. Now I'm sticking on the Rampage. The Rampage goes down, the Revenant goes down. We had our Countess, she roamed. So really, really nice stuff here. As soon as we get that, I instantly start spam pinging Fangtooth, right? Like, hey, look, we got kills. Let's go. This is our window. This is a big thing that you have to learn in this game is time management. You can't be lackadaisical with your time, and you want to find those windows. And I'm going to talk about windows here a little bit more because there's a couple big windows that come up later in this gameplay that I think are really, really important to show. But the reason why I wanted to talk about that hunt from earlier is I have no hunt now, so we have to burst, right? And there's not really a good way of explaining this to my team in solo queue. I'm just praying that we burst this and that we get it, right? Because I don't have a hunt because I was trying to get to them early. So we burst it, we get it, no biggie. The Rampage shows up, and now you can actually see I'm ahead of him. So I've got some gold on me. I'm hanging out for this 9-minute river buff, and you see me sweeping or using my sentry just to make sure. And he actually dives over the wall, and I get it. So now I can put some considerable damage on him. I pull my rock. You want to try to rock him early. He actually gets his off on me. But now with the Steel rotation, this should be just a nice free pick. So nice and easy. Steel grabs that. I'm going to insta-base because, again, I'm sitting on a lot of gold. So I'm just going to insta-back here. Not really much risk. And I'm going to start building the Lockshaw. Now, let's see. I just wait for the middle component. I can't remember what it's called. Middle component. We're going to go straight into the Bastion. The Tainted Bastion. Is that what it's called? I hate that name. We're going to go straight into, I want to call it Leviathan, but the Tainted Bastion, because again, they have Sevarog who heals with magic damage, and they have Countess who heals with magic damage. So we're just going to try to cut that off if we can a little bit. Not my usual build path. Usually I'd be finishing Fire Blossom straight into Raiment and then like into Unbroken Will. But with this much magic damage healing, it's a solid option, right? There's damage mitigation in it. Now I do see a bit of contention here, and this is huge. Look at this. Look at this massive knockup, but I pre-pulled my ultimate because they didn't know that I was there. They had no clue that I was there. I pre-pulled my ultimate, and we just, you know, chase in on this. So I'm looking to dive in on the Decker. He actually jumps over my head. And I don't really think that we follow this up with too much more. But look at this. What is the value that I get instantaneously? Look, I'm going to throw a rock for her maybe, but instantaneously transitioning this into value, right? Like you can see that my decision making is swift and it's decisive, right? Like hey, look, we shoved him out. Hey, look, I know they're low. Hey, look, let me get something for this. And look at this. Red buffs up. We're going to continue that. We're going to keep continuing that. Nothing's changed as far as like build priority or anything like that. I'm still, or like maxing my abilities, I'm still just full maxing my Q. I do have a hunt here. I would prefer to not use this if necessary. Like if I see someone show, then I'll pop it, right? But I don't really want to use it here. So we're just going to take that. We're going to use this jump off the ledge, and we're going to continue stealing this jungle. This is a huge momentum play for me, right? This is going to give me a very large lead over the enemy jungler, and this is going to open up the map in a way where he's going to be kind of like desperately looking for farm, and I'm going to be able to kind of like run around and create opportunities. Now, again, unfortunately, really nice backstep from the Countess there. She read that really, really nicely. It doesn't really matter. Countess doesn't have a lot of mobility against Rampage. So with the Lockshaw on, she can't sustain against me. And yeah, we get that. So the steel pings the middle tower, and I see this on the map because he ran by it. I figured, hey, I'm going to get the attack speed boost and then come back to the tower because this will help me take it faster. So just like a quick little potential min-max. I'm not actually sure if it's any much faster, but the attack speed buff is actually pretty nice. I tried to hide behind the tower to not get hit by the rock. I got hit by it anyways, but it doesn't matter. Now we're going to start maxing our E second for some additional damage. And yeah, probably go back into my jungle. Oh, no, this is actually a really nice thing that I did here. I want to talk about this. So right here, you see, I want to invade jungle. I remember thinking this, but I want to jump off the ledge here and not turn into the left, because if I turn into the left, it's too telegraphed. So I'm assuming that the Rampage is going to go into his blue side jungle because I ripped his red side jungle. I know he's not going in red side jungle. So what do? I fake like I'm leaving, and then I just peel back in and go around. And so this is actually a really nice play. With a little bit of right hand peeking, I can see that, boop, pop the hunt on him, and now I'm just all over him in the jungle, right? Again, this is an opportunity for me to just slay him out and really put him behind. Now with the Sevarog coming, I can't really fight them. I see the Countess here. I'm going to use my large hop with my ultimate, and I'm just going to run out because I don't really got much. Now I'm also sitting on 1900 gold, and I don't want to get stuck forever. I see her trying to plan her Q on me. I pull my rock because if she pulls her Q, say she does fall under tower, then I could potentially stun her and get like half HP damage on her. But yeah, I was thinking about, I was considering choking forward for the river buff because I don't really want to give that to her. But without the Countess being here, I don't really want to lose this farm or lose the tower. So she gets a pretty decent amount of burst. I don't really mind trading my HP bar here just because I'm trying to defend the tower and I really need to base, right? So like, it's honestly fine. It's honestly fine. So now we'll just base. You can see that my Tainted Bastion is ready and Fangtooth is actually up on the map coming up soon. So get the Tainted Bastion. Now we're building into the Fire Blossom. So I pinged to go to the Fangtooth. Want to let my team know what I'm planning, and that's just like where we are right now. Now, okay, for what it's worth, this is where we are right here. I want to set the precedent because this is also another talking point of the game. The Steel said, hey, please just come gank. I don't know if he said anything before that. I'm going to be honest, I don't really look at chats because most of the time I play with it off. But I do want to kind of give my quick opinion on offlane. Offlane is an island, man. I don't go over there. There's not a lot of value for me there. The only thing that I can do is maybe influence your lane a little bit to help. But the reality is Steel into Sevarog's a losing matchup. And as offlaners, like, you have to like either win your matchup and like win your lane or lose it with grace. And that's just the reality. Like, I would have so much less influence on a game if I was camping off lane than doing everything else I'm doing. Putting their jungler behind, helping our duo lane, helping our mid lane, controlling my own farm. It's just one of those things where like I could invest a lot of time and effort in the off lane, or I could essentially win everything else, right? So I jumped the wall here, instantly start this. And I sentry late. I probably should have done that really early on because there could have been a ward just like sitting on the front of the Fangtooth. So that's I would say a little bit of a misplay. But as we're getting this low, I do see the Rampage coming in. I pull my rock or I pull my ult, I want to get ready to stun him. He actually hides this pretty well. So he dives in and I hunt it. It gets down to 50 and he gets it. So a little unfortunate, just trying to predict the damage. That said, instant target priority change. I jump on the Revenant and now I'm out here just like full chasing him out. Pull my rock, land the stun on him, upgrade my rock stun, and he actually blinks there. So he blinks behind me. And I'm just going to go ahead and chase this. He puts me in his ultimate, and we take him down. So pretty decent. It's unfortunate that they got that Fangtooth. But again, you try to predict the damage the best you can as a jungler, and then you just rip the smite, the hunt, whenever you think that the damage feels like it's lining up well. And if you actually watch that back, it falls down to 54. We want to siege this tower. I can put some damage and dive on him a little bit. When she puts the cage up, I just jump over it, and now we get this tower for free, which is pretty nice. I'm doing a lazy back. This is not always going to work. I think it's totally fine to do something like this. She's going to stun me. If she doesn't do that, I get my back off. If she does do that, I just push some farm. I do think there's like a weird little thing that happens here that is just like kind of unexpected. I think their Revenant like DCs here and then he dies to the wave. So I wasn't like trying to do that or anything, but she can't protect him from the wave. He DCs like standing there and then dies to the wave. So it's a little bit weird, but yeah, saving on a lot of gold, and now I'm like planning out what I want to do. I'm going to start building into my raiment now, because now I want to start building up that HP and that health regen. So yeah, so you can see he actually is DC'd and then he's going to die to the wave. So it's a little bit weird. Yeah, it was bizarre. But take a look at the map now. Looks like, again, offlane is struggling. It's been getting hard pushed. But I want to make note of what the Sevarog has gotten in return for what we've gotten. So that's why it's a big important thing to kind of compare what's been happening in offlane versus what's been happening all over the map. So the Sevarog and the Countess, maybe they've been putting a lot of hard pressure on this offlane. Maybe he almost has the tier 2. But I'm going to tell you guys a secret. This, like, offlane, it doesn't matter. Like, it only matters when it comes to pressuring. Now, the Countess is like really full sending me here. I knew she couldn't kill me. Now she put her Q on me there. I chase her and then instantly follow, and she kind of cuts back, and so I'm trying to chase her a little bit more. And as soon as I think I break vision of her, I pull my ultimate so I can throw an instant rock at her. I miss it, but she's going to try to sustain herself off the camp, and even for my ultimate, just take her down, right? But yeah, so I want to go back to that last point. The Sevarog has just been hard pushing the offlane, right? He's been winning his lane matchup. He's almost 2 towers in, and I think when you own that lane, that feels bad, right? Like, oh my god, I'm getting destroyed. I'm not getting help. Like, I'm just losing the lane. This is getting like pushed. This is getting out of control. Feels like the game is over. But you have to know that your lane and your towers are not the game. So look at the game state right now. Just right now. Let's all look at the game state together. 17:32 on the clock, 11-6, 1-1 Fangtooth. We're winning. We're winning the game. We have all tier 1s down except for duo lane. Our Bellica DC'd, so I'm coming to help the Narbash, and I can see this Decker here. So I'm actually going to force her forward, and she's going to take a bunch of tower damage. I'll sweep out her ward that I saw her place. So she takes some tower damage, and I'm going to try to look to help here. But yeah, game state wise, I would say we're at minimum even or winning. I try to help here with the Revenant because I do see him in his ultimate and I can just hard pressure him. And so it's another, like a similar fight. I pop my Razorback, so like forces him to take some damage, get my early rock stun on the Rampage, and now I need to try to dip out of here. Now I try to time my jump with his rock throw. It's a really common thing that you can do if you kind of like have the cadence of Rampage in your mind. So I can do that, and then I'm using my rock to like clear as much of the wave as possible. He pops his Razorback, so I'm just gonna walk away. I'm not gonna fight him there. And I'm actually LOSing my Narbash to stop his rock from hitting me because I just need to kind of like sustain myself. And we actually just like push him back. Now I throw a downtown rock, he doesn't quite step into it, and we see the Countess behind, and so I'm just trying to kite away. But honestly, like, I'm pretty confident in my ability to survive. That was the one thing that would have scared the shit out of me. So I just kite away, the Narbash is keeping me healed up, the Rampage gets stunned again, and now I pop my ultimate and start going crazy with healing. So you can actually see my health is going up. I'm waiting for her to cage. I don't want to jump just yet, just in case she does cage. And I see the Countess behind. I pull my rock and upgrade my E in the middle of that fight. Really important to be able to quickly upgrade your abilities. No reason to sit on that. And then we just chase her down. Like I said, I have the Bastion on. not overly worried. The Narbash is all with me, man. Like, I pull my rock, I use my mana for the rock, get the stun on her, and nice and easy kill. So we'll go ahead and do a little bit of wave management. So we'll push this wave, and then I'm gonna have to back, but the Fangtooth is up. So the Fangtooth is up, and we're both gonna take a back. You see me ping, you know. So I actually just now barely saw that the steel said Rampage, yank the Sev, but look at everything I'm doing. Again, I really want to emphasize this. The steel is so lost inside the bubble of his own experience, which is I'm losing my lane, I'm losing my lane, I'm losing my lane, that he doesn't realize all of the good things that we're doing. We have been consistently getting kills. We defended our tower. We have tier 2 being pushed on the duo lane. We're, you know, contesting the third Fang, which would be our second Fang. Like, you have to look at the game and understand what's happening in the game and not just get upset with, you know, your own lane. So like a big part of this video I'm making to kind of like stick it to this fucking steel player, and I mean that honestly, like, fuck this steel player. He's not a terrible player, but he's just lost inside of his own experience, and he was very annoying this game, and you'll see that. So yeah, fuck you, steel player. But also to be a little bit educational and just to talk about what's actually going on in this game. So now this is definitely a big misplay. My ego is out of this fucking world, right? I'm just being honest. My ego is insane, and I'm doing some dumb shit. And as soon as I saw the Countess, I should have just jumped over the wall, but I didn't. I take way too long to pull my ult. I'm not popping my Razorback, and I just get demolished. So pretty big misplay for me. That was dumb. That was honestly like the first big thing that I think that I was like, okay, that was just stupid. That was like full ego. So yeah. So Steel again says Rampage gank right. Again, there's really just no benefit to me ganking right. He says Orsev can just solo end. It's like, dude, just go catch the wave. Like, you don't have to have your wave pushed to their inhib to feel like you're doing your job. And this is just such a big part of like what I wanted to talk about. So like, dude, Sev is strong right now, man. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm not gonna just go sit on top of a tank whenever I have other things that I need to be focusing on. Now, again, my death in their jungle, pretty stupid. So I'm getting ready to start building a Tainted. I feel like I just want to, you know, shut down any potential healing that they have. That's mostly for the Rampage and the Revenant. So I'm just like full on Tainted this game, right? Like, I've got the Bastion and I've got the Guard that I'm building towards. And yeah, so this is where I noticed that the Steel, I think he's, for lack of a better term, this is where I think he's like fed up, right? I think he's just like done with his lane, and the Narbash is obviously not going to push that. So I'm going to grab my red, and then I'm just going to start pushing out right lane, and we'll see what happens. Which, I mean, I'm not terribly upset with this. Like, I could probably push his lane a little bit better. The thing is I'm strong, so having me out on the field is probably better than having the Steel, you know, out on the field. But it's like semantics. We both want to be out on the field. So, like, you know, if we can push this out, maybe we can make a coordinated push and knock out that tier 1. That'll buy us a lot of space. Because the reason why this lane is perpetually being pushed is because there's an obstacle stopping our waves from going further. So I'm going to push this out, and when you're doing something like this, that, like, in my mind right here, the best I can hope is I just hope my whole team doesn't die, right? If my whole team dies, that's like an Orb Prime, that's an inhib that we're probably going to lose, or at least we're going to lose a bunch of towers. I'm just like sitting here doing this chore of a thing, which this is important, and I'm just like hoping that my team doesn't die. So now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I've made it this far. No one's contesting me. I've got one ward in mid, and I see the Sevarog coming, so I'm like, you know what? I can just chip away at this. Now, the Sevarog's going to kill this lane really, really fast, and I don't want to stay because he'll hammer me and do all kinds of crazy stuff, so I'm just going to walk away. And this is whenever I start ego checking the Sevarog. I don't think he can beat me. I have the Bastion. I've got Fire Blossom. I've got my Razorback. I genuinely don't think this guy can kill me. And he's big and I'm big, so I'm just going to challenge it. So that's what I'm doing. Now, my team's fighting in other places. Honestly, I can't even be focused on this. So he used his ultimate, and I've used my ultimate now. He used his healing, and this is where we just, like I said, we ego check this, we challenge it. He uses his crest, and unfortunately I didn't get my big leap off there, so I have to blink. So I didn't really time out my ultimate perfectly there, but we just take him down. We take him down. That's a really long extended fight. I see the ping on the ward toward mid, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's 2 people on that ward. They're probably going to come for me. So I'm going to drop down. I'm going to grab this green, and then I'm going to get out of here. I'm hoping that my tower will or their tower will fall to my wave. And I do see that the Fangtooth is coming back up. Even now, watching that fight back, it's like it's so easy to tunnel vision deep on that fight. But we're doing well, right? We have 7 kills, 1 death, 1 assist, or 7 assists. We're starting to build into some really, really strong items, items that I think are going to be pretty instrumental and helpful for us. And yeah, just kind of assessing. I think I just like default run to this side. Maybe I'm going for the river buff. I don't really remember what I'm doing here. I think I'm just going for the river buff because I don't really have anything in my mind that I'm doing. Oh, okay. So this right lane is still pushing. I decide to come over here and see what we can do. So I'm just pushing the wave. Like, yeah, I could potentially fight her. I pull my rock whenever I see she's going to jump on me, but the Revenant peeks out. And so now I'm sitting here thinking this is a dangerous fight. My Countess goes really deep and she dies instantly. I have to run. I don't think I can fight both of them. I don't have that much of an ego. And we also have Fangtooth coming up. So I really don't want to be here. I think that this is like not great. Now, here's the thing. I see my teammates catching Countess. I ping Orb Prime. So I'm already forward thinking here. I ping Orb Prime. I'm sitting here thinking, hey, this is a huge pick, right? Huge pick. So now I'm insta pinging Orb Prime. Hey, look, we got a pick. It's deep in the game. We should just do this, right? Here's the thing. Let's talk all the way back to one of those early points. We don't have a carry. We have like an ADC hybrid mage Bellica or something. Our damage is slow here. This starts turning into an issue for us. But this is the window. This is the window I was talking about. We find the pick. They trade the Fangtooth because they were probably posturing for Fangtooth. We're going to take Orb Prime. The problem is this window is actually much smaller than I thought. If we had a carry here, if this was a Revenant, a Sparrow, a Drongo, a Murdoch, this would have been a lot easier. We see them coming on the map. So we see them coming on the map. Luckily, we get it. And this fight goes crazy. So I insta rock. I was trying to hit the Decker, but I'm all over the Revenant. That's always going to be my target. Unfortunately, he does put somebody in the Shadow Realm and insta kills them. So he comes back out. I pull my rock. I'm just all over him. He liberates himself, I suppose. I think that's Liberator. And I'm just all over him as best I can, sticking to him. And this is where the Countess on our team is chasing down a target. I didn't really realize that till now. She loses that fight. And yeah, we are struggling. We're struggling here. This fight right here shows me a lot about this game. I'm trying to stick it out. To be honest, I was tunnel visioned on our fight, so I didn't know that the Countess was still in the fight. Like all of what I saw now, I didn't realize. So I'm going to fall here, which is realistically, this is me overstaying in the fight. I need a little bit better awareness in the fight. So unfortunately, we're going to fall there, but we're going to finish our Tainted Guard. And that fight showed me that I need to build damage. Like that fight showed me, I'm sitting here thinking about it and I'm like, I need a Mutilator. I don't think that I can win this game without bringing some damage. I'm going to build a Mutilator. So now this is where I realized how frustrated the Steel is because I hadn't really paid attention to it. He said, so why are we doing that? Can we just get a gank Rampage? It's 27 minutes in the game, homie. There's no such thing as ganking at this point. It's just roaming and farming instead of your jungle, whatever he said. I don't know what this guy is mad about. He's just had a really bad game. He's been in a losing lane, but we've been predominantly like winning the game. I would say that last fight is where the enemy team made it even because they tied up the Fangtooths and they killed us post Prime. So 27 minutes in the game. Look at the game state. It's still even. Look at it. No team has Prime. It's 2 Fangtooths to 2 Fangtooths. It's 18 to 17. It's even. If anything, we're winning. So just something to think about. Just something to think about. So I said, I'm carrying. What are you saying? Because like, LOL, what? Like I'm doing everything for our team. Like if not for me. And now this is where I talk about our scaling issue. I said we're struggling to scale because we don't have a carry, which I don't mean to sound like accusatory because I'm fine with the pick. It's just a reality. He said, look at chat, and this is where I told him the reality. I said, I do. I just don't care. Like, I don't care that you're bitching and moaning about needing help. I don't care that you want me to sit on your lane. I don't care that you're losing your lane. Look at everything that I've done for our team, and just like be realistic about it. But again, it's solo queue, and this guy's lost in his own delusion, and that's totally fine. People are going to be that way. It doesn't really matter. This is why I play with chat off 90% of the time. Realistically, it's like 99% of the time. So we lose a player there. No biggie. Doesn't really matter. And like I said, I think that last fight was really, really big for me because I realized that playing against their 2 tanks Like, it's just going to be hard to shred through. We don't have a carry. I don't believe that we have the damage to rip through their tanks. So Mutilator for me felt like a necessity. It's also going to give me a little bit of sustain. So I see my teammates chasing down a target. They might be able to get it, but for me, I was thinking, hey, look, I have an opportunity to put some pressure on the map and just split push here. So that's what I'm thinking. The Sevarog pops up in map, and you know, I could fight him. I've already kind of proven that to myself, but it's just a long fight. So I'd rather just like pinch into my team, and I see them struggling a little bit. So I'm sitting here thinking, you know what? I could fight the Sevarog, or I could like pinch in with my team. So pull the ult. I got a little indecisive there. Won't even lie about it. Got a little indecisive there, but we end up chasing down the Decker. Any pick this deep into a game is like a good one. So that's what I'm looking for. Really just looking for a pick. What is that? 52-second timer, right? Like a pick here is huge. Pull my rock, instantly turn, look at the Countess. She's doing a lot to me though. She is doing a lot to me, so I'm starting to kite away to my team. But we have like 3 picks here. Unfortunately for us, our right wave is like, or the right lane is like hard push. Land a nice long stun, or like long range stun, and just trying to deal with the Sevarog. Again, unfortunately for us, that right wave is pushed back. Maybe I should have backed here and just let my team continue to do this and defend our inhib. I don't really know. Like in moments like this, it's like you want to be in the moment, and you want to help, and you want to get your push off. So what we end up doing, and I'll just, you know, say it out loud now, is we end up trading an inhib for an inhib, which feels shitty. But like in that fight, it's hard to kind of get away unless I just walk away. So now we have to trade the inhib because, you know, we have to get some kind of value out of that. I think we trade the inhib. Actually, I know I die here, but I think we get it anyways. I guess we'll find out. I don't really remember. Fangtooth is coming up. I ping that just to try to give some awareness. I think there's like no way in hell anybody's going to see that. I do see the Rampage on our backline, but I'm just like, I'm sitting here to myself like, hey, we need this really badly. So I pop my ult. I'm going to try to get this, and unfortunately, I get Countess ulted, so I don't actually know if we get that, but just continuing my Mutilator by, I did see that our Steel left. I'm not sure if that's early, premature. I don't really have an opinion on that. I am spam pinging retreat because I think that if we die here, they just get the Fangtooth for free, so I really want us to get out of that, and we don't get the inhib. So now this is probably the first point of the game where, even despite having some kills, I would say that I think we're kind of losing now. I do think we're kind of losing now. He's shoving out the right lane, which I think is fine. Our mid inhib is taking some pressure, and they're almost certain to get a Fangtooth if they head straight there. So in my mind right here, I'm thinking, okay, we're really on the back foot. And this is where I'm telling our team, it's a scaling issue. Like, this is like, our push is slow, our shred is slow. We don't have a carry. And again, I really don't mean that accusatory. And so the Bellica said, relax, bro. And I said, we don't have a carry. It's just a tough end game. And so I'm trying to say, like right here, I want them to know, like, it's winnable. Like, it's winnable, but hard. I just don't want, I don't want our team to feel like I'm like, hey, we're getting shit on. This guy said, you need to group up. This is the Narbash. And I was like, I have 10 kills and 9 assists. Like, I group. Like, I group just fine. So I don't know why he said that. Unfortunately, they're Rev DCs. I just now realized that they already get the Fang. So now we're kind of on the back foot. You know, we're kind of on the back foot. You know, Steel's being a weirdo again. And I was gonna type some aggro shit, but I stopped. He said, well, they free fought all over the map. It's like, I don't know. I have no idea what he's talking about. Like, he's just super pissed. Like, I call it a skill issue for him, because I think this guy's literally just shit. He's literally just a shit player, and that's fine. You're allowed to be shit, but this is why I don't talk to people in games. This is genuine. Like, I turn my team chat on whenever I know people, but I guess I just forgot to turn it off, and this is literally why I don't talk to people. It's just such a waste of time for me. Now, we get in this like mid-game scuffle. Luckily, while I have my instant rock, I see the Revenant. So the Revenant comes out, and dude, this is my job, right? Like, I'm just gonna 3-shot the Revenant. Unfortunately, we're not trading them well. Like, we're losing, right? So this is rough. We are now losing the game. Our core is being hit. We've hit the end game. We don't scale. Our Steel is tilted and checked out of the game. We're down Fang 3, so they have 6% stat scaling. And yeah, it's like probably a lost game. Or Prime is up. If the enemies would just back up and go do it, that would be, you know, good for them. And I said I can literally only carry so hard, which is the truth. Like, it is the truth. So you can only do so much in your matches. And he says, you failed horribly. Yeah, I failed horribly. I failed so horribly this game. Luckily for us, the enemy team, in my opinion, is so laser focused on trying to end the game here that they miss the bigger picture. And this is really, really important. I think that you have to kind of know that this game is really hard to end without Prime. I think that Prime should almost always be a big thought, and creating windows for Prime should always be a big thought. Now, I'm trying to create some or free up some pressure, right? If I get a kill here, it frees up so much time and space. So I'm very adamant about trying to get a kill here, and you're going to see me chase this down to no freaking end, man. I really, really want this kill. So boom, get the kill. What do I do? Instantly start pinging Prime. It's a window. Look at the game state. Okay. Look at the game state right here. This is so perfect. I love it. 3 people dead for a minimum of 39 seconds. Our base is pushed, so we have to keep one person there. Probably steal, maybe Countess. Probably steal, realistically, because he can just sit there and defend. If it was in my control. And we have 3 people down. We can just prime. We can completely flip this game around. I spam it 3 times, and what does Steele say? No. He says no. Lane control. Listen to the adults. Like, this guy, like, if we listen to the adults in this scenario, we don't create enough pressure. We don't take enough in our window. You have to understand what you can achieve. If we leave this Prime up and we push our lanes, all we do is push our lanes and get nothing. And thank God I built this Mutilator, because this is the reason we're getting it so fast. So the Sevarog comes in to try to make something happen. You know, they have to try to contest this. And then the Revenant comes in. And hello, hi Revenant. I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing the whole game. I take down the Revenant. The Sevarog's being pressured by my team. I'm going to focus this Prime. I've got the Mutilator. I have this damage. And it's really important that we get this. Boom. If we were listening to the steal, we would just be, you know, pushing lanes right now. Now, I call all mid, and you know, team wants to back up and get items, so it's a little unfortunate. I think we may end up losing the Narbash, which sucks, because we're just not on the same footing. Which that definitely just happens. It happens sometimes like that, where you're just not on the same footing. Now I get a double stun, and I'm just trying to run away. I have my ultimate. I know I'm not going to die here. I was a little worried about the Countess, so we lose our Narbash, which really sucks. And I'm looking for a tonic. Now, in my mind, I need the physical tonic. I need to do more damage. So I buy the physical tonic. And there's a Fangtooth coming up. And I wanna like push this out, but I'm also worried about the Fangtooth. I just don't want to let this push. I probably shouldn't have used my jump there. I don't know if it matters. It's pretty short cooldown because it's in game. And I'm spamming Fangtooth because this is pretty important. Now, they don't have their carry, but I am sitting here thinking to myself, they might be able to get this. So I instant rock the Countess, take her down, bless, right? Again, 72-second timer. Now I'm all over the Rampage, instant rock him on the second one. Try to get the Fangtooth. I was so focused on trying to kill him that I didn't get the Fangtooth. So a bit of a misplay on my part, but look at the window. We've created a window. And look at how fast I am to ping things. I want to take that back a second. We go for the instant rock. I try to kill him. He gets the Fangtooth. That's on me. That one's on me. And I instantly recognize the window, spam ping mid, right? I'm typing 2 down, all mid. Like, this is our window. We can win the game here. I still have Prime on. A lot of us still have Prime on. Like, we can absolutely end the game here if we push. Now, I think this ends up being a little bit more convoluted than it needs to be, and that's totally fine. I don't know what this Decker was doing. I'm a little confused. She like was backing in front of me. So we're just gonna like chase her down. They actually do end up getting that kill, and this gets a little bit weird because it carries them into like fighting over the duo lane, and I think it's fine because it just ends up turning into like a split push, right? It turns into them like splitting up the duo lane and me splitting the mid lane, which whenever you have Prime, you probably want to cover like 2 lanes anyways. So it gets a little convoluted because they have to like deal with the Sev, but I think it's fine, right? I think we probably could have ended easier if we just went mid, but I'm not actually sure about that. You know, because bringing both lanes brings a lot of minions, so it's totally fine. And they do it in a pretty timely fashion. Like if you look and see, like it's pretty timely. So, all right, we have a lot of buttons up here. We have like all of our cooldowns, and I'm focusing core. But I also want to try to peel as best I can. Now, I admittedly definitely don't save our Bellica because she goes down. But just trying to fight the people that I can fight, and they're deep back in there, so I'm just like fighting the Rampage. Maybe should have peeled back a little bit more. Get my rock on the Rampage, just all over him. And I'm always looking at the minion count too, like minions attacking, because that gives you a lot of context. So we have 1 minion attacking, that means that they're getting caught up or they're on their way. So don't get lost in that. Takedown, and now we're hitting core, and look at this, my favorite part. You're welcome. You're welcome. And then and this was for the steal. This was for the steal. Hard carried. Dear God, man. Dear God. I've never seen someone complain about a performance of mine that was that dominant and that strong. But friends, this was a long video. Let me know your thoughts. Find the windows. Help where you need to help. Try to make smart decisions and be quick. Be swift. Because I think it's really, really important. So friends, thank you so much for watching. As always, drop a like on the video, subscribe for future Predecessor content. Be sure to be kind to one another. Tell someone you love them. And I'll see you on the next video.